demonstrating the Cybex big iron half rack with my colleague Tony here. So we're just going to go through a little bit of a demonstration on some of the Olympic lifts. Is that Tony? I'll just go through a couple of cleans for us. I'll do the technique bar to begin with. So what we tend to do, we have these big platforms specifically designed for Olympic lifting, and with sports performance, Olympic lifts are a key part of most strength and conditioning programs for a lot of athletes in a number of different sports. So we'll just go through a few Romanian deadlifts just to warm up, just back. So just flex the knee a little bit more. So what we're looking for is just developing some basic technique, particularly with this, what we call the hip hinging, just to warm up the hamstrings and the glutes, which is going to be a key aspect of doing the clean and the snatch. From here, what we're going to progress to is just a Romanian deadlift, just a mid-shin, and then up into a shrug and calf raise. That's it. So we're just warming Tony up to begin with, just before we start to cane him. Tony's actually using one of the technique bars, so you've got a nice 8 kilo bar to practice with. Still Olympic size, so we can use some of the technique plates, but it allows beginners, females and younger lifters to learn how to perform the Olympic lift without having to use a full 20 kilo Olympic bar. Okay, we're also getting warmed up in the overhead squat position, so a little bit wider on the grip on the head, just to get the shoulders mobilized. He seems pretty mobile anyway. Cool, just a few overhead squats in. So we're looking at trying to train the body as a whole. The cleans and snatch will work the posterior chain, the back, the glutes, the hamstrings. We'll also work the quads, need stability and mobility in the upper body, upper back, shoulders and arms. So it's quite a whole body type of training. It's a whole body exercise. The only thing it doesn't do excessively is the bench press, or like the chest muscles, the pecs. But if you're doing bench press, 10 times those covered anyway. So from here we're going to progress up. So we're going to start teaching the snatch. So we're going to pop it on the back to begin with. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to start in this back squat position, and you're just going to squat down and press the bar overhead as you do so. Get nice and deep, stand back up all the way, pop it down to the back, and off we go again. So trying to get him used to what we call a catch position for the snatch. We perform it nice and slow, make sure he's got a good bit of strength and mobility in the overhead squat to begin with, and then we start to add a little bit of speed and make it a little bit more complex. Once he can do that, then we progress him up again. So what I'm going to do now then is he's going to drop into it. So we'll do a little dip and drive, and they can actually catch him in a full overhead squat position. And just getting him used to dropping down into the position nice and quick. So if we start with your feet a little bit closer as well. So start the feet a little bit closer, and then as you go into the little drop, you can shift them out just to make it easier to catch then. So a little dip and drive, get the bar up, and then drop down. Good. So this is what we call a snatch balance exercise. It's a nice one to gradually build them up into being able to land in this overhead squat position. One more, and then we'll add it onto the proper 20 kilo bar. Cool. That's it. Pop it down. Let's full 20 kilo bar in. So, I think it's going to be a quick demo. We're looking for a little dip, right, and catch. Trying to get nice and deep. Bar positions. Over the feet. Stand up. Tony's going to progress then into this heavier 20 kilo snatch balance, hands nice and wide. So it's getting him used to dropping into this overhead squat position. It does require a lot of stability and strength in the upper body, strong upper back, strong shoulders and strong arms. The idea is not to get used to pressing the weight overhead, but literally just get used to catching a heavier load. When we do a full snatch, this is how we're going to catch it, so we can load him up and get used to being in this weighted overhead squat position. Cool, and relax. Bring the bar into the front. So the first thing we were practicing, get rid of your. So the first thing we're practicing is the actual second pull. So we're going to pop the bar onto your upper thighs, nice wide grip. What we also do is we adopt what we call a hook grip. So whilst we're holding the bar, you wrap the thumb around the bar and then pin the first two fingers over the thumb. So thumb underneath those two. It's a very uncomfortable grip, but it's what we use for Olympic lifting. So from here, what we're going to be doing now then is just practicing our second pull. So I just want you to do just a jump and shrug. So jumping up in the air, shrugging up. We'll try and get that nice and quick. So we're getting used to moving the bar from this position on the thighs and getting used to accelerating it upwards in order to catch it above the head. Get a lot of upper trapezius work, but most of the force again comes from the hips and the thighs. From here, what we're then going to do is add an actual pull to it. So I want you to try and get the bar nice and high, so you can allow the elbows to bend, but you're still focusing on jumping and shrug. That's it. Try and get up to head height. A little bit wider on the grip still. That's it, nice and wide. So jump and shrug, and then allow the elbows to bend. Lean back a little bit as you do so. That's it, good. And once we've mastered this second pull from a high hang, and we've mastered the catch position with a snatch balance, then we add the two together. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that same jump, shrug, allow the bar to move upwards by bending the elbows, and as it comes up, you're going to drop underneath it into a overhead squat position. So just look at bringing it all together, jump and shrug, and get underneath. This is where you start to find out wider grip is better, more comfortable. There we go. Trying to catch it in a narrow grip is usually quite difficult. So, say jump and shrug, and then into this catch position. Good. Just one more rep and then I'll give you a rest because I'm not that nasty. Jump and shrug. Drop. The reason we use the lifting platforms, especially when we're doing it with full weights as well, is it allows us a safe training area from which to use. If we need to drop the weights, as you saw then on that last rep, not quite in the right place, which is normal when we're learning these techniques. Sometimes you do have to drop it. This allows us to drop the weights safely in an area that's not going to cause any damage to the floor, any damage to any users, or any damage to the equipment. So this is our safe dropping area. As I said, when we're kind of going through this, it's not unusual that every once in a while you will have to drop it. That's fine. There's the bumper plates that we get from Jordans and bars on this particular lifting platform. That's what they're designed to do. Cool, we're going to go through a few cleans. So what we're going to do now is just load up the bar. So what I find is the bar and the plates designed to be dropped. So if we need to drop it from up here, when we use a particular lift, you'll find that's why we use these bumper plates, particular bars, particularly the actual lift So we're going to go through cleans now. So to begin with, this again, the athlete used to be in a front squat position. So we lift the bar up. We could either take this off the rack, pull it out from the squat rack, take a few steps back, or we can just get used to popping up in that position. So in this case, on a clean, bar is resting across the clavicles and the anterior delts. And we're just going to practice getting used to, in a loaded position, dropping down. So just a slow front squat to begin with. It's making sure that he can move his knees forward, he can keep his feet flat on the ground, he can keep his elbows nice and high, and he's trying to keep a nice vertical torso position. Getting somebody used to doing this is a natural progression. Once you can do a basic leg press, then the idea is to progress somebody onto a free weight squat. The front squat is definitely more functional than the back squat, so that's why we tend to use it to build into doing a little bit of lifting. Once we can do it slowly, then we add a little bit of tempo to it. So the same thing that we did with the snatch, what you're going to do now is you're just going to shift your feet to the side, drop into a front squat position. Just dropping down, controlling it, and then coming back up. So you can do a little dip and drive just to get it moving, just slightly. And it's just getting used to dropping quickly into this front squat position again. This is the catch position for the clean. This is what you need to be able to drop into quickly. If he's not comfortable with this, the clean's going to be very difficult to perform. This is why we use this as one of our teaching tools, just to build him up to it.
I thought you were going to play again now.
Relax, pop it down. From the beat on. From there, we can perform the same thing that we did with the snatch. So we can go for the
we have girls in like
what we call power shrug. So it's just a jump and shrug, a high hand position, gradually building up, taking it to the floor. So we're going to go from here in that same kind of semi-deadlift position, bar resting across the thighs. You're just going to perform a jump and shrug, and just try and get your shoulders up to your ears as high as you can. So from there, so again we form our hook grip and jump and shrug. So from here we don't need to actually flick it over at the moment, just trying to get the jump and shrug going. So the same hook grip, so pin those thumbs underneath if you can. And from there, jump and shrug. That's it. So you only really need to get up to about chest height. You don't have to get up as high as we did with the snatch. Here we go, jump and shrug. That's it, good. Just a couple of those. So we're using 40 kilos at the moment, just two 10 kilo bumper plates and a 20 kilo bar. And then we progress this into our full power clean from a high hand position. So we're going to go from here to jump and shrug. We're going to rotate the elbows underneath and either catch it in this front squat position. So hands a little closer, just a smidge. And from there, jump and shrug, rotate the elbows underneath, quick as you can, drop into this front squat position. Good. Jump and shrug, and drop it down. Whilst you're practicing, this is why we kind of use the lifting platform. One, it allows us to lift heavier weights, and two, also allows us to get used to dropping it if we need to drop it anymore. So jump and shrug, drop it down. Good. And relax. How's that feel? So we can perform the clean and snatch in a very similar pattern. It's either trying to get up onto the shoulder or up above the head in a single motion. So I'll go through a couple of demos and I'll just get you to follow me then. Alright? In that position. So we're looking at a full clean and split jerk now. Taking it further from the floor from this high hand position, from our jump and shrug, get into a clean. From there, drive it up above the head. And when we got up above the head, bring both feet underneath you, full finishing position. Very complex exercise. A lot of people think it's just for athletes, but you can use it for any flight. Once you can do the basic strength exercises, overhead press, overhead squat, front squat, etc., there's no reason why you can't build up to performing these lifts. There's a lot of athletic performance carry over, and they're very good for fat loss, as you can see, energy expenditure. So, one more of those and then we'll go on to the snatch. So from here, narrow grip, jump and shrug to catch it on the shoulders, dip and drive to get above the head, and then move the feet underneath. When we do a jerk, it's actually better. What we do is shift front foot back and then take a step forward. When we do it that way, you actually take a big step forward. It's easier. So from here we'll take it onto the snatch. Nice wide grip. Try not to get distracted by the nice wide on the grip, a little wider. That's it. A little dip and drive.
This is what we do, everybody. In escape we move it.
You don't need to force it down too low. Just go down as low as you feel comfortable, get used to the landing. And we keep it nice low reps. So 1 or 2 reps to learn. Stand up, all straight, that's it, up. Like that. So we keep the reps low when we're learning, just simply because if you try and do 30 reps of this, you're going to start learning new techniques, so we'd rather do 10 sets, 2 reps, 1 set of 20, much better. So we'll start doing a clean from the floor now. So this is a little bit more complex than when we did it from the thighs. We're going to pull it from the floor, pull the knees away, put the knees back underneath, and then drive upwards. It's a quick demo.
So it's all about speed, agility, and quickness. Okay? We don't care how big your biceps are, Richie. Richie, we don't care how big your biceps are. We want to see how fast you can move it. Speed, agility, quickness, power, strength. Oh, she knows. She scores. I see some Zumba sneaking in there. Zumba hands. Zumba hands. Move it. Nice. So what you're looking at here is escape.
So with our athletes, once we've taught our professional athletes, our everyday clients how to do the initial stuff, then we can start practicing the cleans on the floor. Crossfitters love this type of training, professional athletes love it. You can teach your everyday clients to do it, they enjoy it as well. Just getting used to lifting the bar from the floor, moving your knees out of the way, shifting yourself back in the right position to lift, and then performing our same jump and shrug. First of all, getting to what we call a scoop base is always very difficult to do. If you can get used to lifting it efficiently from the floor to the shoulders, very good for improving strength, very good for improving power, very good for body composition changes. And very much got a whole body workout. We've got pulling muscles involved, we've got lifting muscles involved, squatting muscles. Good. Now what we can also do as well, if we turn the other way, is you can just unrack it from the rack that we're using as well. So if you pop the bar back on there, so when people don't want to lift it from the floor, we can load it up on half rack. And literally from there, just get used to unracking it, take a step back, and you can perform multiple lifts in this light angle position. Just from there, a little step away, pop it back down. So we can do sets of 6 or 8 of that. Yep. It's a proper workout training now. Jump and shrug.
Do you want a bag?
So it's not unusual to find occasionally the odd rep is a little bit off. It's getting you used to trying to be able to move heavy loads from the floor to the shoulders, from the shoulders to above the head, from the floor to straight above the head in one action. Good. Cool, thank you very much for watching our demo. We'll be back again this afternoon and back again tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching.